Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel. So in today's video, I have a very special guest, so make sure you stay till the end. A lot of my time is spent in educating people about intellectual property and how it works and how they can protect their artistic work and inventions in India. And I was thinking, wouldn't it be nice if we start educating our kids about intellectual property at an early age? Keeping that in mind, I invited my son, Hriday, to this video today. He's 11, he's just finished grade 6. And I know that he's very artistic in nature. He likes to write a lot of stuff. He's in the process of writing a book. He also does a lot of sketching and drawing. So I thought it would be nice to see what he thinks about intellectual property and if he'll be hurt if somebody copies his artwork or if somebody doesn't give him a fair value of the artwork that he intends to sell. So stay tuned till the end and see how it goes. So I have with me my son Hriday. Hriday, welcome to our YouTube channel and welcome to the session.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, so I'm going to start off by asking you some very basic questions. I have seen you draw almost every time here and there, but I want to see some of your drawings that you have created. And I did speak to you before the this call, so I asked you that I want to see some of your artwork. So can you start by showing me at least some of your artwork?
No problem at all. In fact, I've collected 5 artworks, which are the best pieces I've created so far. For example, this is the very first one I created. This was created on 31st March. I've signed and written the date when I created this.
Okay.
And after that, I drew this drawing. It was made on April 30th, the Tom and Jerry cartoon character sketch. So I had originally made this drawing with the plan that I could make a sale of these cartoon character drawings. I could sell them for a particular amount and I would get that amount and I could use it as my own pocket money. So I drew this on April 30th and immediately after this drawing, the next day I drew this one, the Mickey Mouse character sketch. Yeah. And after that, talking about summer, during the summer, there is a great cricket tournament called the IPL, and I've started supporting Chennai Super Kings, all because of Mahendra Singh Dhoni. And as a placard for every CSK match, I drew this, the logo of Chennai Super Kings.
Okay.
And this one was, I could use it as a placard for the matches as well, but I just simply drew it. This is a cricket ball. It's a professional drawing of a cricket ball.
Okay. That's very interesting. Let me ask you a couple of questions around the drawings that you have shared with me. Can I see the cricket ball drawing that you just showed me?
No problem.
So tell me, why did you choose to draw this? Like, why did you, what were your thoughts? How did you decide that I need to draw a professional cricket ball or let's say Mickey Mouse or Chennai Super Kings? I know because you and I watch IPL all the time and we support CSK. But how does your mind work? How do you think and how do you come up with these drawings?
Yeah, I don't have a particular technique or anything, but I drew this because I'm a huge cricket fan, and whenever I see a cricket match, I always have the matching cricket ball in my hand. I have all the 3 balls, red, white, and pink. So it just gave me a thought that I could draw this.
Okay, interesting. Now let me ask you a different question. Okay. Have you heard of this term? You know what I do, right? You know I'm a lawyer, right?
Yes.
Okay. Have you heard of the term intellectual property before? Do you know what is intellectual property?
Yes, I have. I can't give a very detailed definition though, but what I know of intellectual property is that it is a kind of personal property which is made by anyone and they have all the rights to edit it or sell it and make any other modifications.
Okay. Why did you think that once you, draw something, you have a need to sell it? Because I remember earlier, whenever you used to sketch something, you just kept it in a file and you just enjoyed the process of creating. Why suddenly you thought that you should sell your drawing and make some money?
Well, the thing is, these drawings, they are pretty much valuable, but I thought I could make a sale of them because I want to earn much more money, not to just buy things, but to also save it for future.
Okay. Okay. That's interesting. Now, okay. So you mentioned that you want to sell it, right? Now, whenever you draw something, whenever you have this collection of things, I've also seen you have a particular file that you put it under. You always label them nicely. You always cut the edges very nicely, and you put it in a folder and secure them properly. Why do you think it's important to protect your drawings and your artwork?
It is really, really important because uh, I appreciate it. People could appreciate it as well. They could think it's a masterpiece, and who would want to ruin a masterpiece?
Okay. Okay. What about, tell me about the book that you are writing. I think there was a book that you started, I think, last year. Just give me just a brief explanation about what was that book all about.
Yes. So, usually when they hear that I'm writing a book, they could obviously think that it's either a science fiction book or a comedy book. But I thought it could be a horror comedy book because horror comedies are scary and funny at the very same time. I've seen some horror comedy movies that were pretty scary, but they were still funny. So I thought, why not I write a book on a horror comedy? Why don't I write a horror comedy book? So the title, so originally, as I was going to commence the procedure of typing that book, my friend, he had already published his book. During online class, whenever he would find free time, he would start typing his book. And I was really inspired. Like, I thought I could do any modification because his book was just 50 pages. I didn't expect that it would be like a pamphlet. I didn't expect that he would make illustrations. So I thought maybe I could go with his procedure and even make it a series because he's made his series. It's a science fiction book. He's made it into a trilogy series. And I thought, why don't I make it into a trilogy series? But then I thought it would take a lot of thought to make it into a trilogy series. That's why I thought I can put however much chapters I want. I could use some illustrations, but I am not going to copy his idea. And I'm not going to copy the entire procedure of his book because it's his intellectual property and he has the right to make it into a series or make it into just one.
But you did copy the idea, right? Would it be fair to say that you did copy the idea of writing a book from him?
Originally, no, I didn't copy the idea. I had planned on writing a book way before he did.
Okay.
I was really inspired. I thought I could earn fame with the book.
Okay.
I thought I could write more. But then I thought we can take it slow and steady.
Okay, so you were inspired by his book. You didn't want to copy his book or his idea, but you were inspired by the fact that he has written a book. So you thought you could also write a book now.
Yeah, I had the time when he published his book and brought it to the class. I was already writing my book at that time. And I thought I can copy his procedure because it's a really cool procedure. And within a span of a few months, he immediately earned fame across the school. In fact, there were posters with a picture and his book. They were all across the school board. Even the grade coordinator and the principal got to know about his book.
Okay, so okay, let me make sure I understand this. You want to write a book because of the fame, or you want to write a book so that you can sell it, or you want to write a book because you like writing a book? What's your motivation behind writing a book, or maybe creating a painting that you have? What is your motivation behind it?
Actually, there is no motivation for creating a painting, but when you say writing a book, yes, I do have motivations, not because of the fame, but because I want to sell it. But if I sell it, does not mean I want to become rich. I just like writing a book. I feel like there's what could be called as an inner writer within me.
Okay. Okay.
So I thought, why not I write a book and sell it?
Okay. So you like writing and you want to do it for the love of writing. But in the process, if you earn a bit of fame and also a bit of money, that's okay with you, right? but your main idea is to focus on the love of writing and to create more drawings and create more artwork and satisfy that artist in you, correct?
Exactly.
Okay, that's a good idea. Now, let me ask you this, Hriday. I noticed that when you were showing me the artwork, I noticed that you had written your name and the date at the bottom of it. Why did you do that?
So that even if I sell it, they can know who the artist is and when it was actually created. I'm even thinking the day I sell it, I should also write that so that it gives uh, the person a memory when it was sold, who it was made by, and when it was actually created.
Okay, wonderful. So, Hriday, with all this information, I want to talk to you a little bit about what intellectual property is. And I want to also talk to you about what you know, whether it's right or wrong. And also, I want to talk to you about how the law works. Okay. And what is it that the work that I do in the office? Okay. So, as you rightly pointed out, intellectual property is something which is created out of your intellect, okay, out of your hard work and out of your creativity. So any property that you create, like for example, your book that you're writing or the sketches that you've shown me, they're all your intellectual property. All right. You understand this part, right?
Yes.
The other thing is, the minute you create a property, a minute you create a drawing or a book or a poem or something like that, you have certain rights attached to it. Okay. Rights basically mean that you get to decide what to do with it. You have certain ownership over the stuff that you have created. So like you already are thinking of selling a particular artwork or maybe selling the book that you have written. So these are called intellectual property rights. Okay.
Yes.
These are the rights that you have on your creations, on your artwork. Do you
Yes.
understand that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this. How would you feel if somebody copies your book, or let's say if somebody doesn't pay you enough for the artwork that you've created? So I remember you and I spoke about selling your artwork, and you mentioned that you would like to be paid 1,000 rupees for the drawing that you create, right?
Yeah.
What if somebody says that, well, 1,000 rupees is too much, I can only give you 100 rupees? How would you feel about that? And would you be okay to sell the drawing for 100 bucks?
I would, but unless they aren't trying to uh, trick me or anything. Unless they're not
They're not
trying.
tricking you. They're not tricking you. They just don't have the money. If you sell it to one of your friends, he may not have 1,000 rupees, but he may have 100 rupees.
I have a total of 3 options for this. I could either accept it, reject it, or save the drawing for later.
Okay. What would you like to do if somebody offers you 100 bucks?
I would say I would reject it, and I would at the same time say that I'll save it until you have the rest.
Okay. So you will keep it with you, and the day he comes back to you with 900 more rupees, then you will sell it to him.
Exactly.
But what if somebody else during these discussions is ready to pay you 1,500 rupees? What's it? Let's say if I come to you and I say, Hriday, I can pay you 1,500, forget the friend. I'll pay you 1,500. What would you do?
Well, ideally, I wouldn't accept it.
Why?
I wouldn't accept it because uh, too much of anything, as we know, is not bad. So I'd say that you can get this drawing for any amount near 1,000. That's what I could say.
So 1,500 seems to be near to 1,000. I think what you're trying to say is too much of anything is bad, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I don't want to confuse you with all these concepts. So I understand what you're trying to say. You're trying to be nice about the fact that if you have an agreement with somebody, you want to stick to that, you want to honor that. Correct?
Yes.
All right. So, Hriday, as a lawyer, this is what I do. I make sure that if any artist comes to me or any inventor who has invented something comes to me, I help them protect their intellectual property. Okay. So if you tomorrow come to me and say, Dad, I want to make sure that nobody else copies my my drawing, I will help you legally protect it. And there are ways and there are methods in law where I can register it. I can make sure that the government stamps it and says that you are the legal owner of that artwork. That's the kind of work I do.
Yes.
Did you already know that?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask you one more question before we wrap up. Let's say I take a picture of your CSK logo, which I did,
Yes.
and I put it on my Instagram status, right? And I said, I gave a caption and everything, and I put it on my status. What if somebody copies it? What if somebody takes a screenshot of the image that I posted and posts it on his Instagram channel? Or let's say takes a printout and makes a placard out of it. Rather than buying it from you, he just, maybe your friend just makes another placard and uses it without your permission. How would you feel about it, and do you think that's fair?
That's totally unfair. And it's not such a huge problem, that I would call local authorities and everything. But I would, yes, I would control my rage. And at the same time, I would tell them that this is forbidden. You can't do this.
Okay, so I have a question for you. Last time when I saw you making a presentation, you wanted to include a picture of an animal. You basically took a picture from Google, you downloaded it on your system, and you inserted it in your PowerPoint presentation. Don't you think the person who posted the original picture, he would be upset or he would be really angry because you just downloaded it?
He would, but the only thing I can say about it is that there's no other option. I didn't have any other option, unfortunately.
But just because you don't have any other option doesn't mean you can steal somebody else's artwork, right? Okay, if your friend says that today is the final of IPL and CSK is then in the final, and there is no other option for me to make a CSK placard, because if I don't do this, I will have to wait for one more year, and Dhoni would probably retire by that time. So that's why I took your placard and I made a poster out of it. Will that be okay with you?
Still no, I would not.
Then how come you say that you don't have any other option? It's wrong, right?
Yeah, it's not illegal. I wouldn't say it's illegal, but I'd say that it's wrong.
It is illegal, believe it or not. It is illegal for you to just download somebody else's work on which is on Google and use it in your presentation or just use it without his permission.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got to be careful in doing that next time. If you're doing it for your educational purpose or if you're doing it for your project, that's okay. But you should not sell it or you should not share it with some. You should not say that this is your artwork.
Of course not.
Okay. Because it is somebody else's.
Yes.
Okay. Hriday, do you think that all this legal information or all this information should be taught to students in school?
Well, not the students who are at a really young age. I still can't believe that I'm knowing this at the age of 11. I'm still in grade 6.
Okay.
But the ideal age for anyone to know this, I'd say, is when they're 15 or 16, when they're in their 11th or 12th standards, if they're studying law or even commerce or intellectual property.
Okay, but a lot of kids I know, they make a lot of drawings, right? And they use drawings as it's a big hobby for a lot of kids, right? So if they are becoming artists and if we educate them about intellectual property at an early age, let's say at your age, maybe you will understand how it works and you will be motivated to take this as a career. Maybe once you understand how it works, maybe you will be better prepared to become an artist, and you will not just do it for the love of it because you'll understand the business side of it or the money side of it. Do you think that could work, or do you think that's too much for kids to know?
That could work. All this about intellectual property that you're explaining now, this much information I feel is more than enough for kids to know. For kids my age and even above to know. But the more complicated procedures and all other information about intellectual property can only be learned when they're 15 or 16. That's my opinion.
That makes sense. Great. So I think maybe once your friends start talking to you, or maybe you can help educate your friends about if you see that one of your friends is also an artist, or maybe the friend who's written a book, maybe someday you can talk to him about what is intellectual property and educate him that, look, my job as a friend is to also explain you and educate you that this is your hard work. So you should protect it and you should take care of it. And I'm sure his dad must have explained it to him. But you as a friend can also help in educating people around you or friends around you on the basics of intellectual property.
I could, if they take an interest in it.
Correct. Okay. Do you have any questions for me, Hriday, as a lawyer? Let's say I'm representing you in protecting your artwork, in all your books and everything. What kind of questions you would have from your lawyer?
Well, I don't have any questions at the moment because I'd say it's very awkward for the interviewee to have any questions.
No, it's okay. It's absolutely fine. You can have questions.
Makes sense. But as of now, I don't think I have any queries.
Okay. What do you think of lawyers in general? Again, the fact that I'm your dad. Okay. What do you think of lawyers in general? And do you want to be a lawyer?
I'm neutral on whether I want to be a lawyer because I've already taken interest and I want to settle in a different place, a place that's like not a city, but it's a town. It still has a university.
Okay.
It teaches multiple subjects there. Students from all around India and even all over the world come there. So I'm neutral on this decision, but otherwise I would love to know a little bit of law.
Okay.
And what I do know about lawyers is that they are the people. They are the people who fight justice, who fight against all others. Yeah, they create justice and fight all prejudices and discriminations and everything. And they even have contact with, I mean, not contact, but they do know a lot about the government.
Okay.
They represent the government by attending court sessions.
Okay. Okay.
They fight several cases, and so many lawyers, they're so lucky to get hired by many people. So, some lawyers are even lucky to be the lawyers of several celebrities.
Yeah,
Well,
correct. Okay, Hriday, what do you think as somebody who has, so we live together and you see me every day work hard and work in my office and I go to my clients' places. What do you think are some of the things that I can improve in my office or in my business and in my law practice? What are some of the suggestions that you have for me for improvement?
I don't think you need any improvement.
Seriously?
Fortunately, you don't need any improvement because I think you have a lot of skills. Because you have 17 years of experience as a lawyer, I feel like you have all the necessary skills to be an excellent lawyer.
Who told you that I have 17 years of experience?
You told me. You told me that you became a lawyer after you graduated.
When did I tell you this? Just before the call or much earlier?
Much earlier. You told me much earlier.
Okay.
Even one more fact.
Yeah.
I even got to know that you were highlighted as barely opinionated 17 years of experience lawyer of barely opinionated.
What is barely opinionated? Do you know?
Yeah, it's basically a news channel where not a news channel, but it's where many, I'd say, businessmen and truths and everything, they interview many people who are into law, into commerce, and into it.
Okay, that makes sense. So, don't you think I can sleep better as a lawyer because I work a lot?
you could sleep better if you get into a better routine, I'd say.
Okay, that's one thing. Do you think I should practice some other laws also, like criminal law or some other law, or do you think intellectual property is fine?
I could say you could fight criminal law because I'm interested to see how all these laws, criminals, how all crimes are fought, how crimes are fought by lawyers. I'm interested to see that.
Okay, should I change to criminal law or should I stick to intellectual property law?
You can stick to intellectual property because that's an advantage, and you can also get into other criminal laws. You can get into other laws.
Okay. Okay. Before we wrap up, I have one last question today.
Sure.
So we invited you for this session, and we are recording this session, and we'll obviously post it on our YouTube channel. What if I don't mention your name on the channel, or what if I don't tag your channel on YouTube, which is HRI Studios, correct? You have a YouTube channel, HRI
Yes.
Studios. What if I don't include you in that channel? How would it make you feel?
I wouldn't rage too much, but I would appreciate it if my name is what I would appreciate it.
That's a very good answer, Hriday. So what I'm trying to explain to you is that if somebody has invested their time and hard work into anything, for example, you have invested your time and your knowledge and your skills into this interview, it is only fair and it only makes sense for us to give them credit for it. Okay.
Yes.
So intellectual property also revolves around giving a lot of credit and recognition to artists and to inventors. Why? Because imagine if I don't incentivize you, let's say I don't give you credit for what you're doing, if I don't recognize and appreciate your efforts, then you will not take more interviews. You will not be interested in doing this more and more. Correct?
Yes.
And people who are now listening to you and seeing you on this YouTube video, they will not understand how kids think about intellectual property, right? So they will be deprived of all the knowledge that you bring to the table. So what I'm trying to explain to you is it is important to incentivize artists and inventors so that they feel motivated enough and they feel happy about creating more stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
And that is also what intellectual property is all about.
Yes. Okay.
Great. Thank you so much for your time today. I think I really enjoyed talking to you. I wish you a very happy International Drawings Day again
Thank
today.
you so much.
Because I know you're an artist and you've been drawing for the last 5-6 years now, I think a little more than that maybe. And I like the fact that you invest a lot of time with sincerity and with hard work. And all you need sometimes is just a applause or let's say some motivation. So thank you so much for your time today. Keep drawing, keep creating. And if you have any legal trouble, you know who to talk to, right?
Of course.
Okay, great. Thank you so
To a lawyer of your choice.
Thank you, Hriday. Yes, talk to a lawyer of your choice. And I think I know who's your lawyer here, right?
Of course. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much for your time today. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you. Hey everyone, did you enjoy our video on intellectual property and my artworks? If so, hit the like, subscribe and the bell buttons to stay updated on our channels Pulastya Legal and HRI Studios, and do express your thoughts in the comments section. Till then, stay tuned and have a great time.